Alright, I'm going to do a quick video. I had somebody sent me a pretty lengthy email, wanted to know about the Matrix paint system. And I'm going to the warehouse today, so I'll do a walk around at the warehouse with the camera maybe. If I can get in there, depending on the mood they're in. And show you the products that are available and ready to ship. This is some of the products I'll go over in the product guide. I can send you a product guide. The reason I like Matrix is it's a company I started with back in the early 80s. They had primer and clear, and the shop I worked at, we actually used rubber seal primer. We use Matrix clear, and we use a DBC base system. And primarily we did rental cars. So some of you guys watching this will bring back bad memories for you, but try just to turn the volume down. But anyway, primarily they were a clear company, and then they got into the primers. So their clear and primer line is very strong. They've been at it since the 80s, and since then it's become a full line paint supplier. They have body filler, from the body filler to the clear coat, etch primers, adhesion promoters, whatever you might need to do a job in your shop. Matrix has you covered with their product line. The first page in the product line is prep items, basically a summary of the Matrix story here on the first page. It's a pretty interesting story. Matrix was started by the chemist that used to work for PPG, and that formulated the DBC system, and he took that technology and started Matrix with it, and Matrix has been accused of a copycat system to DBC. It is a direct replacement for DBC. So if you have a PPG machine, you can put Matrix onto it, and it'll match perfect. The toners are designed exactly the same as the DBC line as far as the solvent line goes. They have two solvent lines. They have the compliant, and then they have the the non-compliant old school solvent. Primers, sealers, basically I can send you this catalog, you can read through it, and any of the products that you want to sample, let me know. You have a wide variety of etch primers, 2 etch primers. Actually they have 3 etch primers now, 4 of them. And they have about 4 or 5 production primers also. They have the super fast lightning primer. They have the MP3, which a lot of guys in the garage like to use. It's a super high build, super thick primer. I compare this to the polyester surfacer. It's about the same texture and thickness, and it's a good primer. A lot of the guys like to use it. The AccuShade system. This is a system that I have, and of course when you buy the system you'll get a mixing bank. You'll get all your toners, you'll get a computer, you'll get a working bench, you'll get a shaker, mixing system, all your color books, your AccuShade color chips. The color chips have come a long way. This is one of the original cabinets here, and these are the original chip decks, and these are all the possibilities. So if you have a car that comes in and you just want to use the deck to chip it, match it that way, you can. There's a plethora of colors to choose from there. They also have the FX line, which mirrors the House Colors line. You have to buy these decks separately. And here's some of the chameleon colors, different chameleon colors. They have a variety of pearl coats and candy colors. Every candy you'd want down there, candy concentrate, and then the regular pearl, and then the Zylac pearl, which is the more extreme pearl. So moving on here, this is the LV system. This is the green setup. This is the low solvent. A lot of the guys don't like the water, and they like to stick to the solvent based paint, and this is called the LV system. I've heard mixed results on this. I have personally never sprayed the LV. There are some guys that watch my channel in California that are spraying with the LV system, and it has its good points and its bad points. I don't think the color match is as good on this one. I hear mixed results. I try to be honest when people ask me questions. So, maybe we can have some feedback from guys that are using the LV system, you know, and get their input on it. It is coast to coast legal. This is 50 state legal, and this is the water-based brand. They also have the water. Now, I've heard really good things about this. It doesn't have to be agitated. It's a little easier to keep up with. You do have to have different spray conditions, though. You know, you need to have air dryers moving the air in the booth. So you need to have super dry air, and it doesn't work really good in high humidity climates. So that's one thing to consider. That's why there's 3 different lines, and depending on where you're at with the different EPA requirements. Here's a little bit about the FX series. So they go into, you know, the custom color aspect of it, the pearls and the pigment they use to get those different combinations of colors. Here's the different clear coats. I prefer the AG40. I like the AG40. Now there's a new clear that's not in this catalog, which is the 78, which I really like. Here's the some of this. If you'd like, PM me your address. I don't know if Andrea has it. I can send you a quart of this for to test out. It's a 4.4 VOC. It's a little high on the VOC depending on your requirements in your area. Some of the other clears are a little lower on the VOC number. This is a really good clear. I've been using this lately, and it's a 2-to-1, and I have really good results with this, even with high water content in the line. So I'm really digging the 78, and if you want a quart of that, I can send it your way so you can give it a try. The AG40 is a European style clear. They have the 20 or the 52, which is a 4-to-1 medium solid. The 42 is a high solid 2-to-1 clear. The AG40 is a 2-to-1 clear. The MS20 is the original clear coat that I was using back in the early 80s, and it's a copy of the 2020 clear PPG. It's a pretty good product. It's relatively heavy bodied, so you need a big tip on your gun to get it out. The same with the AG40. And the 78 seems to be a little thinner on the viscosity. It comes out of the gun a little better, which is a lot of problems. A lot of times the guys will go from a 4-to-1 medium solid and they'll go to a high solid clear because they want that extra deepness and that deep shine, but they don't have the equipment to get it out of the gun. A lot of the guys are using HVLPs in the garage, and the funny thing about an HVLP gun is it requires more air pressure to operate than your standard gun. Although the pressure is lower, the CFM requirement is much higher on an HVLP gun. So when you have the combination of lack of air and the product being too thick, it can be very hard to get the product onto the panel. So if you have that product and you don't have the proper equipment for a 2-to-1 clear, stay with a 4-to-1. A medium solid comes out of the gun much better than a 4-to-1 or a 2-to-1. You can add some reducer to these products. It's not recommended. I think they recommend that you can go up to 10%, and it's something that you have to, it's personal preference on how you want the clear lay on. The more reducer you put into any product, the more dieback you're going to have, so that's always something to consider when you're working with the clear. The other clear that's a really good product is this MS30. You use this a lot, and it comes in gallons or quarts. I like to buy my products in quarts. That way you only open what you're using, and you have very little product loss that way. It doesn't cost that much more to buy it in quarts, and what you usually lose if you're not a volume shop, you save in product. So the MS15 is a quick clear coat. This is dry in 15 minutes, air dry. The MS30 is buff in 45 minutes, air dry. And then the 747 Super Production Clear is also an awesome clear. I've used that before, and I don't use it too much anymore, but I used to use it quite a bit, and it has a great shine and not a lot of dieback. They also have a new matted clear here for you guys that are looking for the matted look, MS100. So that's the self-flattening clear. Moving on, low VOC clear coats. So here's a few versions of what we just looked at and the low VOC variety. And then premium solvents. You have the 860, 870, 885 reducer, and then you have the LV reducers. anytime you go green, it's going to be more expensive for your products, from your reducer to your base. Your raw materials are always going to be a higher cost when you go green, whether you're going with water and have the added cost of redoing your booth and your compressor setup, excuse me, or whether you're doing the low solvent. It's just more costly. So these are the different variety of hardeners. They have a 5, a 6, and they have a couple different. And then what I like about this 30 clear is this is a 4-to-1 clear, and you can use the express hardener in there, or you can use the slow hardener in there if you have to do multiple panels. So this is a good product to have around in the shop if you got to get something out quick. And if you want it even quicker yet, you can do the 15-minute air dry clear. I haven't tried any of that personally yet. Usually I like to refer to speed in the paint business as haste makes waste. Usually, you know, unless you absolutely have to push it out the door, you want to leave yourself the proper time, you know. Even though there's products out there that dry quick and that are made for that, that's when you get into issues, when you start rushing stuff. So anyway, I can send you that book. I can send you a quart of clear if you'd like to try that. And this is the email that I got. So this is a lengthy email, and hopefully I've touched on some of these things that you asked me about in here. The other page here was guns. You know, what guns that I like, and I like the Segola. And let me see if I can find my Segola. I don't know where my Segola's at. It's terrible. It's probably lonely. But anyway, I like the Segola gun because of just for the fact I got it outside here. I want to feed the cats. Let me grab it for you real quick. And I'll break it down why I like the Segolas. I'm not paid by them. I'm not endorsed by them. They don't, you know, give me any deals on their guns. Although I find their guns a pretty good value for the cost. This is a 4400 Extreme, and they have the 4500 series now, which are orange. I believe B-Buggin' Brian has the 4500 Segola. This is the 44. This is from Auto Works. I really like this gun. The primary reason I like this gun is because it has 0 seals in it. There's no packings and there's no seals anywhere in the gun. So just from that aspect, if you price out a kit for any of these guns that you mentioned on here, sodas are also one of my favorite. They're just expensive. You can buy 2 Segolas for 1 soda cost. And I think they're pretty much real close on the way they spray. Now, the one thing I like about the soda over the Segola is the cup. That's got to be the worst cup to ever put on a, you know, a good gun. I haven't replaced the cup yet. That's a simple upgrade. You can buy an aluminum cup, get a bigger cup if you want. The cup's a little small, I think, and being that it's plastic, it stays dirty, and I don't like that aspect of it. Even the cup has no seal in it though. So that's why I like the Segolas. They're very friendly for production painting. You know, they're made to be taken apart and cleaned a lot, and not become a wear item where if you pull the packings and stuff out of a conventional gun, you can find yourself buying a rebuild kit, and a lot of times the gun sprays different from packing to packing. So this gun is machined to tolerance, and it's a precise piece. I think the Segola name will definitely move forward once the you know, painters get it in their hand. More people use it. It's a very popular gun in Brazil. It's made in Spain, and I've had really good results with the technical department and the guys over there at Segola. If they don't have the part, they'll make it for you and ship it the next day. So they've been very helpful every time I called them, and I haven't had anybody complain about their Segola that I've sold yet. So I might be able to get a couple more of these 4400s. I can check at the warehouse today. I don't remember the price on them, but the 4500 is a super nice gun. I think it has a little better cap technology, and you know, it's anodized orange instead of light blue like that one. So I hope that covered the questions that this guy had about the products and the guns. If there's anything I can send you, product guide, technical manual, let me know. I did find a couple technical manuals for the FX series, and I found these to be pretty interesting. they break down different steps, you know, how to prep your car, different aspects than the regular books have. You know, I thought it was pretty cool. Custom painting overview, and there was some pretty cool information in there. I know there's some of my customers, surface preparation, you know, you don't usually get that. You get it in small details in the, you know, in the technical manual, but it seems to be more outlined in this book. And step-by-step planning for your custom paint project, plans for your custom paint project. It's just a step-by-step guide, and I thought it was pretty cool. They also have a estimated product using based on object size guide here. So if you have a front end of a car, or you know, a small motorcycle or whatever, they have the ratios figured out to how much product you'll need to paint a motorcycle tank or a fender or whatever. You know, I get asked that question a lot. And a lot of that depends on the tip of your gun and all that stuff too. I mean, it's just, this is just a, you know, a generic chart. And yeah, so epoxy primer mixes primer, epoxy primer mixes a sealer. They don't go into that in the other books. The M20 sealer, there's a couple of cool stuff, cool things in this book. And then there's some coat foundations. They talk about, you know, building coats up without putting the hardener in there. Artwork, general information stuff. So if you're into the artsy stuff, and you know, you think you might need one of those, let me know. I'll see if I can still get them. And maybe get a couple of those out. I know I flooded the market with the basic technical manuals. This is a custom painting basically thing here. Product required to FX, or the PPG radiance conversion chart there, and tech sheet, cross-reference guide, reference price book, refinish price book. So pretty good information in there. That's the other thing. Matrix is a pretty complete company. You know, they do have people that answer the phone when you call, and they're more than happy to work with you. So if I can't service you, we'll definitely find a dealer in your area. We'll hook you up with Matrix and get you started and get you some products to try. That's the, I can talk all I want, but you know, the proof is in the product. You got to put it in your hand and try it. Somebody was wanting to know about the 42 clear, and any of these products that we just talked about compared to any kind of aftermarket clear coats, this is going to be a way better product for you. This is recognized by the Insurance Institute. If you have a shop, you can use this product on your insurance jobs, and it is warranted lifetime by the manufacturer for any defect in the product. Very few of your aftermarket products offer that, and the insurance companies just don't accept it. So if you have a shop and you're doing insurance work, it's important to buy a product that the insurance company is going to be able to honor your warranty program, and you're going to have a company that will stand behind that warranty. There is a warranty procedure that's in the other manual. I can send you that, and you can get a little stuff like that. The 42 clear, somebody was asking about the 42 here, and I like the 42. I like the AG40 better. The 42 has an anti-sag additive, so it's you know, it makes you think that it's harder to run, but you can get runs with it. It's not a, you know, a fail-safe. The AG40 is more of the European glassy look that you have today. The 42 is not a bad clear. It's more than likely going to have to be polished though. You know, if you have a moisture issue, you're going to get dieback with the 42, where you don't get that with the other products that we talked about. So that's the main reason I like this new clear. This is the latest offering, and this is what they're putting their technology into now. So the MS78 is turned out to be a really good product for me. I really like it. So I can send you a quart of that and let you try that. And hopefully I answered all your questions. If I didn't answer all your questions, you want to know about your filtration system, you got a DeVelvis, that should be fine. You know, the other thing is restricting your airflow at the gun with cheap regulators and filter balls. I don't recommend those ever. The filter ball doesn't flow what the gun can flow, so you have to sort of think like a mechanic when it comes to putting one of those filter balls on there. If You know, you mess with motors, that's like putting a restrictor plate on a Winston Cup car. The gun's going to flow much better with no regulator if it's regulated at the wall. Anytime you use this system here, you're compromising your airflow to the gun and what goes on the panel. So air volume is far more important of an issue than air pressure. And I think that's something that's lost by a lot of guys. CFM, you know, it's like amperage in a wire. You have to have amperage to move the voltage, and you have to have CFM to move the clear through the gun. And anytime you restrict your opening at the bottom of the gun via a filter or a cheap regulator, you're going to have a poor atomization at the cap. So these are some things to consider. If I haven't hit on all this stuff and you want to talk on the phone, we can do that. That's usually the easiest way. And Tom, this is somebody that watched your channel and was turned on to me by you, so I appreciate Tom there. Tom has been a long-time customer, probably one of my longest Matrix customers out of the guys in the YouTube garage that there is. Tom actually came to my house and stayed for a week and got to spray some product, and we got to be good friends, and he got to try all his stuff, and I think it changed the way he paints. I'm not sure, but we had some good times. And he's sort of liking it. So Tom did have some trouble with the clear being too thick, and this is a problem that sort of shows up in the wintertime. You know what I'm trying to say. You guys deal with it. In the wintertime, the viscosity of the clear gets thicker. It's just like motor oil. It's very temperature sensitive. So if your product's not warmed to the proper temperature, it's not going to spray properly, not going to come out of the gun. And then the other problem that we have is I think Tom was having trouble getting the AG40 or the silver sail to come out of the gun. I'm not really sure. He wasn't getting the proper transfer to the panel. Now, the Sokola, although I do love this gun, if it has the least bit of trash in it, it will not spray. This is a gun that almost has to be Tommy shoed every time. You know, you need to take it apart, clean it, make sure it's very clean. The problem is the solvents that we have to clean the guns now no longer dilute the product. So you think the gun's clean, you put it in a cabinet, you rinse it a couple times, you come back and there's a little clear tip on the end of your cap. And that's not good. So you want to make sure your gun's clear. And if you're having issues with the 2-to-1 product, the 4-to-1 is always a lower viscosity and might be better suited for wintertime spraying if you're not, you know, heating your product up or getting it to room temperature. You know, ideally the product should be at like 75, 77 degrees. I'm sure this clear right now, it sounds very thick in the cup. It's about 32, 33 degrees out here in the shop somewhere, and so it's pretty cold. And the product definitely thickens up just like motor oil. It has a viscosity that's sensitive to the temperature outside. So hopefully this video isn't too long. And if you have any other questions, it's always best just to call me on the phone. We can talk for hours, you know, and then I can tune in on more of what you're, you know, wanting to know, and get more specific there and send you what you want to try. So hopefully this covered a couple of your questions, and I didn't waste your time with this video. And if anybody else got anything out of this, that's great too. The other one thing I wanted to touch on, I've seen a couple guys lately using the 3M window weld in the garage, and there's something that's very important. I learned this in an ICAR class, and that was something that we were required to take back in when I worked for Toyota in the dealership life. We were constantly sent to school, and when the insurance company started requiring that the technicians be certified to work on the cars, you had to have a certain percentage of the technicians that were either ASC certified or ICAR certified. Now, one of the first horror stories that we get when we go to the ICAR classes, a story about a guy that puts a window in, and it's a second party vendor situation. When you have a shop and you call a window company in to put a glass in a car, most body shops don't install glass. They usually get a glass company to come do it. In this particular case, the window was installed by a private company. And the car was involved in another rear-end collision, and there was a bus stop that was close to the collision, and the windshield came unlodged from the car and decapitated somebody sitting at the bus stop. And this led to a plethora of lawsuits. And it's why it's one of the key stories they tell in the class. This is an excellent product. You know, a lot of us have used it before, and urethane's some amazing stuff. You know, if you use it, it gets on your hands, you can't get it off. It's very sticky, and it bonds very well. One thing that a lot of people leave out when they use this product is this is a two-part product. This isn't a one-part product. And it's very disturbing that they sell this a lot of times, and they don't have the second part that goes with this. You have to use the window weld primer if you're going to use urethane. If you put urethane on bare steel or any kind of substrate, it's never going to stick. It will stick for a little while, but the bond will release. The window weld is what gives it the bond to the surface, and the window weld primer comes in a little bottle with a little cotton ball applicator. And if you guys got a good glass guy, you've seen them put it down first. They'll apply the primer, and then they put the adhesive over the primer, and that's what gives you a good bond. Anytime that you're bonding two substrates together, you want to make sure that you read the instructions, make sure that you have all the components that are necessary to carry out the job, because this is one that I see all the time that's overlooked. This product has a primer that goes with it, and they very rarely sell it. They sell the urethane, but they don't sell a little bottle of primer. So look into the window weld primer if you're using this product. Another tip, if you're trying to bond panels together, you can use panel bond, and you always want to make sure that it's bare metal to bare metal. The panel bond has a rust additive in it that keeps the panels from rusting. And if you try to put panel bond over paint or any kind of e-coat, it'll pull the e-coat off, and you'll lose your bond. That's why they always say go to a metal to metal situation. And the window weld does not have the rust stop in it like the panel bond does. So use the window weld primer if you're going to use this product, because you can't have release issues, and that can be really bad. So I hope that covered some things. I'll take you guys along with me down to the warehouse today, and we'll try to do a walk around down there. So let me get going. I've been putting the trip off. I had a lumber truck tip over and dump all the lumber on I-4, so it's all backed up. But so anyway, hopefully I've answered these questions. I sort of briefly went over this. This guy deals with a lot of import cars. The color match is going to be excellent for you on the DBC line if you can use it. Like I said, this is going to match just like the DBC, and it's going to work just like the PPG DBC line. I don't want to get sued, but I could take one of these toners and put it on a PPG machine, and if you do that, you want to make sure that you don't want to do that. You want to just use matrix on matrix, and let PPG do their thing and let matrix do their thing. Because if you start mixing it and they come into your shop, you can get sued. That's how disturbed they are about it. The first week that I was in business, I got the sue letter from PPG saying that if I put my tents on their machine, that I'd be sued. And yeah, so I do have some PPG shops, and the way to get around it is to take this toner and pour it into the PPG can, and leave the matrix label off. But this is a direct replacement, and for the DBC line. So there you go. There's the Deltron toner, and it's exactly the same as this toner. So some people say that it's not the same, but it is. I've actually mismatched them, mixed them. It had no ill effect, and have no effect on the paint formulas. We have very good luck with color match here. Very rarely do we have a color that doesn't match. Every once in a while, you get somebody that gives you the wrong paint code or reads the wrong number, and that's an issue. If you have this paint line behind me, you're able to make three types of paint. The MPB, which is the premium base, the MSB, which is the shop base, which mixes 1 part paint to 1.5 parts reducer. So it's a product that stretches really far. The premium base is a 1-to-1 mixture, and then they have the refinished solutions that you also can mix off this machine if you're doing cheaper cars. I don't recommend that line because it's all binder, no filler, very little pigment, and a lot of binder in the can. just like your secondary brands out there. That's how they lower the price. They put this much pigment in the bottom of the can, and it's all binder on top of the color. So it's hard to cover, more coats to cover. I always say to use the shop base over the refinished solutions, because you can buy half as much and get just the same amount done. The refinished solutions is 2 parts paint to 1 part reducer, just like some of the secondary brands out there. And so you have the you have more paint than reducer in that mix, because there's so much binder in it that if you reduced it 1 to 1 or 1 to 1.5, it would be too thin of a mixture and be totally transparent. So a lot of guys will buy that for the used car market. They'll maybe base the car with some ground coat that they have in the cabinet, and then they're doing it all over, they'll use the refinished solution. Sometimes, when you cut back on the pigment, the match is nowhere as good. So if you're doing OEM repairs or new car repairs, I don't ever suggest the refinished solution line. I would go with the premium base or the shop base. That's where the color technology is at. And the color match is excellent, the support's excellent, and Matrix has just been an all-around great company to work with. So that's where we're at, and hopefully this video helped you out. I didn't repeat myself too much, and if there's anything I can help you with, let me know, and hopefully this gets to the right person.